Okay, so when we're solving something that's in this form, something times x squared plus something times x equals 0, or something squared equals another number, we've got a couple things that we can do. So to solve this one, we want to take out a common factor. So if we have 2x squared minus 8x, the common factor between them is 2x. So we take that out. And now because we have multiplication, we have two things that we can solve for 0, because of the null factor rule, if either 2x or x minus 4 equals 0, then the other one, because it'll be multiplied, will equal 0. So 2x equals 0, therefore divide by 2x equals 0. And x minus 4, in order to get that equals 0, we would have to add 4 to both sides, leaving us with these two solutions, x equals 0 or x equals 4. I'll do an example. So when we have one of these that's in this form, something times x squared equals another number, divide both sides by a, by whatever that number is, and then you've got x by itself. So in this case, we divide by 5 on both sides, and now we've got something simpler, x squared equals 4. So there's really two answers to this. X could be 2, because 2 times 2 is 4, or x could be negative 2. Aha, because negative 2 times negative 2 is positive 4. Another way to look at that is you could rearrange something like that into this. So we get the difference of perfect squares. So these numbers happen to be perfect squares, x squared minus 4, and we know that if we have the difference of perfect squares, we get a factor of a plus b, first number plus the second number, the square root of those, or a and a minus b, and they're being subtracted, sorry, they're being multiplied together. So again, if I had x plus 2 equals 0, I would take 2 from each side, so x is negative 2, and if I had x minus 2 equals 0, I would add 2 to both sides and get that. So now let's solve some of these here. To solve x squared plus 4 equals 0, I'm going to take out the common factor of x. So now I've got x being multiplied by this to give me 0. So the null factor rule tells us that this equals 0, that's already done for us, or this equaling 0, either one of those is going to be the right answer. So this one is done, x equals 0, and in order to get rid of this 4, I have to subtract 4 from both sides, so that gives us x is negative 4. So the two solutions for this is either x equals 0, x equals negative 4. Both of them will be true. Now for this one, we have to take out another common factor, and here I can see that 2x is a common factor. But first, let's get them on the same side. So I'm going to subtract 8x from both sides to get it into this form. Now we can take out the common factor of 2x, and that leaves us with x minus 4. So now, if either of these equal, we'll figure out what either of these is equal to 0, and divide by, well, that's going to be 0. Because 0 will make that 0, or I'll add 4 to both sides. I'll put my arrows in. Plus 4 means that x is going to be 0 or x is going to be equal to 4. Now we've got a couple different ways to do this one. The easiest way is just to take the square root of each of these on either side. So we have to be careful though, because remember, x could be equal to 4, because 4 times 4 is 16, so I've taken the square root on both sides, or x could be equal to negative 4, because negative 4 times negative 4 will give us that 16, positive 16. The other way to do it is, so this is an alternate. I can change it around. So that's x squared, and I'm going to take 16 from both sides. And so we know the difference of perfect squares is a plus b, the square root of those perfect squares, and a minus b. And guess what? We still figure out each of them. X plus 4 equals 0. X is going to be negative 4 because we take it from both sides. And x minus 4 equals 0. X is going to be positive 4 because we had to add 4 to each side. So we'll still get the same answer. For the next one, we can do the same thing. This one is going to, we want to keep this as a number in exact form, and I'll show you. So if we divide both sides by 3, and that leaves me with x squared equals 6. Well, 6 isn't a perfect square in the sense, but we can still find that x can equal the square root of 6, or x can equal the negative square root of 6. And of course, the alternative is to do the same things we did before and get the difference of what we call perfect squares. And that'll lead us to, we'd start with 3x squared minus 18 because we take that from each side. And then we could factor out the 3 to leave us x squared minus 6. And then the difference of perfect squares, I've run out of room, sorry, is going to be 3 times x, square root of x squared, plus square root of 6, that's a 6, times x minus square root of 6, and then we can solve it from there.